Peace and blessings, YouTube. So today, I want to read an excerpt from a book called The Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ. And some of you may recognize some of the material from this book in the Circle 7 or the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. But there is a portion of the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ that is in some high degree Moorish literature called the Little Red Book. And it's talking about the travels of Jesus when he was in Greece, when he was in Egypt, when he was in Persia, and other places. And when he went to Egypt, he went into the pyramids. They stopped talking about the temples, but he went into the pyramids and he went through some tests in order to come out as a Tsar, or to come out as a god, or to come out as one who has power over their mind and power over their body. And so one of the tests that he goes through is a test to receive the degree of love divine. And I love this particular passage because, for one, it talks about something that's intrinsic within life: the law of gender. Also the law of polarity, and love between a man and a woman. I mean, you look at 98% of the movies in Hollywood, and they're centered around a love story. The Matrix, I mean, Smokey and the Bandit, I mean, Ted, I mean, it might not be a sexual love story, but it is a love between people. Or even in the sense of the movie, I believe it's Her, where the guy falls in love with his operating system. I mean, that's not a person. It's a person in a, technological object. But the center of it is love. Affection, intimacy, closeness, bonding. These are all things that are associated with love. So, and also with this particular passage, now that I'm reading it, it's adding on to the information that I gather from the red pill community. And so, I'm not going to get all into like red pill terminology or anything like that. This video and what I'm reading is going to be commented on with the assumption that you already know about red pill terminology. So let me start off. In chapter 53, 5 plus 3 is 8, which is, upright infinity symbol. You turn it over, it's the infinity symbol. So you have this kind of loop. And you can also look at the infinity symbol as the cyclical connection between two circles, man, woman. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes into a cycle. Follow. All right. In all the land, there was no place more grandly furnished than the beauty parlors of the temple of the sun. All right. First thing in that, there was no place more grandly furnished than the beauty parlors of the temple. Okay, so in this sacred temple, in this holy temple, there was a section of it that was dedicated to beauty. It is a beauty parlor. It is a beauty room. It is a space that is solely designated for beauty. Why is that important? Women are the epitome of beauty. There is nothing in this world more beautiful than a woman, especially a woman who is in tune with her divinity and her feminine power, and most definitely a woman that is in tune with all that and melanated. That is the closest thing to God that a man will ever see on this earth, is a black woman tapped into her divinity, tapped into her full dynamic femininity. That's the closest thing a man will ever see to God. And so women have the ability to inspire, to leave a man and a woman awestruck by the curves, by the softness, by the gentleness, by the sensuality, the swaying of the hips. It's just the look in the eyes and what's done with the hair. All of it is just, it's art. It's beauty. It's magnificent. It makes men want to write poetry and make songs and make love and, forget about all of the stresses and worries that a man has to go through within his daily routine. And to lay his eyes upon that beautiful woman is, it's a blessing. And so this temple recognizes the power of beauty, thus the power of women. It designates a room or parlor strictly for the example of beauty, the showcase of beauty. Okay. Moving on. Few students ever entered these rich rooms. The priests regarded them with awe. Once again, women have the ability to leave a man or a woman in awe, and called them halls of mysteries. Now, women are very mysterious. Men are like dogs, women are like cats, in the sense that men are you kind of see what you get, just like a dog. The dog likes you, or a dog doesn't like you. A dog doesn't try to act like it likes you and then, falls back, and it doesn't do that. Either it likes you, wants to lick you, sit on top of you, play with you, or it runs away from you, don't deal with you, maybe even bark at you. Cats, which exemplify women or have a correlation with women on the other hand, have a mystique to them. No matter how you toss them, how you throw them, how you deal with them, they always land on their feet. They're very graceful, very conscious of their cleanliness and their outer appearance. Dogs don't give a damn. Be wet, nasty, don't care. Cats, on the other hand, are constantly licking themselves and primping themselves, making sure that everything is clean, making sure that they look good. And even if a cat likes you, unless you're very powerful, you won't know right off top, because it'll kind of, skirt the peripheral of your existence. Won't come at you directly. And if it does, but then you try to make an advance toward, the cat may go back. Because there's that dynamic energy play that is intrinsic with interaction with cats and with women. So women have this kind of mystery about them. Um, they're unseen beings because with the womb, all of their parts are inside. There's an inner work going on. With a man, his genital power is thrust outward for him, the woman, and the whole world to see. You know, you look at the card, the high priestess within the tarot, there's mystery within that card, within that archetype. So women are the manifestation of awe, beauty, mystery, inspiration, joy, pleasure, all these things. Let's move on. When Jesus had attained the victory over fear, he gained the right to enter here. With this verse, what comes to mind is a faint heart never won a fair lady. So until you can conquer fear, until you get that soft, scary shit about your heart, you're not ever going to enter the halls of beauty. Meaning, you're not ever going to be able to behold true beauty. On another level, dealing with women, if you look at her womb as the halls of mysteries, you will not enter into those beautiful halls of mystery if you on that scared shit. Or let's take it to the red pill community, or rather blue pill community. If you scared of rejection, if you got fear, you're gonna be looked at as beta. And beta males do not enter the halls of mystery. They yearn to enter the halls of mystery, try to buy their way into the halls of mystery. But just like with Jesus, you have to attain fearlessness in order to be able to enter into those halls. Scare shit ain't gonna get you there, just point blank. Okay, the guide led on the way, and after passing many richly furnished rooms, they reached the Hall of Harmony. And here was Jesus left alone. Okay, I'm gonna keep on reading. Among the instruments of music was a harpsichord, and Jesus sat in thoughtful mood inspecting it, when quietly a maiden of entrancing beauty came into the hall. All right, now we're gonna stop there. I do want to touch on the Hall of Harmony. Well, harmony is a part of the music, and music is one of those feminine creations of God that also inspires, excites, leaves one in awe. Music can give you chills and goosebumps. Music is wildly expressive. It runs the gamut of emotion, from sad to angry and aggressive to calm and serene to, almost silent. Just a simple tone like Om is music. It might be kind of two tones that kind of blend into each other. Om, Om. It's like goes from low to high, but it's really just kind of like a monotone almost. That's beauty. That's the beauty of music. That is the femininity that is music. All right. Now, a maiden came into this room where Jesus was in. Okay. Now, this, my friend, is where it gets real. Because everything was all good until the maiden came in. Okay. Now, mind you, this is supposed to be arguably the holiest of holy men. And so a fair maiden shouldn't be too much of a challenge for this brother who is about his father's work. But we'll see. Let's continue on. Okay, so she, the maiden, did not seem to notice Jesus as he sat and mused, so busy with his thoughts. Okay, so again, she came into the room quietly, having entrancing beauty like a cat. Jesus sat and mused, so he's being in his logical, masculine self. That's what men do. We're logical beings. We're thinkers. We are strategists. Okay, but understand that this is what it says. She did not seem to notice Jesus as he sat and mused, so busy with his thoughts. Seem. So, one thing that women are really good at is making it seem like they don't recognize you. A woman that really knows her beauty, is really in tune with her femininity, she is going to be a master at not making it seem like she notices you, like she's attracted to you. Again, they're mysterious. They love mystery. One thing that they do love about a man is his consistency, his dependability, because they know that they are mysterious. So if you have a mysterious woman and a mysterious man, it's like you don't know what's going to happen with that. Now, that could work in a way of the woman is always guessing and always wondering and, therefore always kind of excited, anticipating things. But there's not the stable, dependable, consistent body or entity there to create kind of a structure, create kind of a framework, a foundation for the femininity of a woman to kind of be held and to be able to shine and be showcased within a controlled environment. Because if you don't, then all of that femininity becomes chaotic. She found her place beside the harpsichord. She touched the chords most gently, and she sung the songs of Israel. Okay. And Jesus was entranced. Jesus. This man has been through all types of tests and all types of schools of thought and learning and meeting these gurus and these enlightened men, learning about how to control his mind and control his body and to tap into his spiritual essence. And yet this maiden, who just seemingly comes out of nowhere and ain't paying attention to Jesus, leaves him entranced. Such beauty he had never seen. Such music he had never heard. Men were visual people. Music is, again, something feminine. So he's getting hit with the double whammy. The music is putting him in this kind of relaxed trance state. And then the beauty is just playing all up on his mind, all on his subconscious. He's like, man, like he feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say it's like he's in the strip club, but that's kind of what you get in a strip club. The music kind of sets the mood, and then it sets the mood for the woman to express herself in all of her sensual seductiveness. Okay, so moving on. The maiden sung her songs. She did not seem to know that anyone was near. She went her way. Once again, she did not seem to know that anyone was near. But believe me, she knew. She knew. And this type of woman with that type of entrancing power, she most definitely knew. She was on point. She knew his. She knew what was triggering him and what wasn't. She knew what was exciting him and what wasn't exciting him. She knew all of this stuff, and it's, according to him, she didn't even know I didn't even see her. She didn't know it. She knew. She knew. She was more aware than Jesus even was, because again, Jesus was in awe. He probably would have been more on point, but once he seen that beautiful, scrumptious woman, he lost all sense and sensibility. Be careful, man. I ain't saying not to behold the beauty of a woman, but just know that when you beholding that beauty, you kind of letting your guard down a little bit. So you got to be on awareness, got to be on alert, got to keep your sword and shield at all times. And Jesus, talking with himself, set out, what is the meaning of this incident? I did not know that such entrancing beauty and such queen-like loveliness were ever found amongst the sons of men. So, what we essentially have here is a MGTOW man. You know what I'm saying? Jesus going his own way. And he ends up coming across what the red pill community would consider a unicorn. That woman who you beforehand you would never get married to a woman. You never thought about being in a relationship with no woman. Nah, because there ain't no woman up to my standards. I'm the prize. That type of mentality. But then you see one, it's like, oh, that's my wife right there. Like yeah, I can't believe it. I think I found the one. And that's what's going on in Jesus' mind. Like, yo, this the one right here, yo. Like, shoot, mess around, man, and tell the father, man, you know where you can go shove it, cause I know what I'm about to shove, and I know where I'm about to shove it in. It don't say that, but that's what's going on in Jesus' mind and in Jesus' loins. You can bet that. You know what I'm saying? I bet he'd been on semen retention for a minute, and yeah. Anyway, I did not know that voice of angel ever graced a human form, or that seraphic music ever came from human lips. Okay. So he says, I did not know that voice of angel ever graced a human form, or that seraphic music ever came from human lips. Now, this is just as men are enticed by what they see, women are enticed by what they hear. And so Jesus in here, man, spitting this game. He might not be spitting it to her because she's gone, but he's been inspired. You know what I'm saying? The muse has come and entered his life, and now he's. I did not know that voice of angel ever graced a human form, or that seraphic music ever came from the human lips. The poetry coming out this man's mouth, is, again, he has been ignited and inspired by the woman. Let's move on. For days, he sat in trance. For days. Come on, man. If a man as strong as Jesus the Christ, according to the story, he was strong. If a man as strong as that can be entranced by a woman for days, bruh. If you fall short because of a woman, I'm not condoning underachievement or anything of that nature. All I'm saying is, don't be so hard on yourself if you fall victim to the allure of a woman. Work hard to discipline yourself so that you're not. But understand that the feminine power is a very powerful force. Very powerful force, especially for men. Especially for men. And I just want to add a sidebar here. One of the goals of men is to be able to be impacted but not moved by feminine power. The man who is impacted or affected by, or I'll say this, can get in tune with feminine energy but not be moved by feminine energy, is the man who will be the most successful, not just with women, but in the world. Because the man that can relate, that's the word I'm looking for, you can relate to feminine energy, but not be moved by feminine energy. That's what the feminine want. Because they're like, okay, he can relate to me. He can interact with me. We can vibe together because he can ride on the feminine emotional wave. But he's still a man because he's not moved by it. He can partake in it. He's in the world, but not of the world. He's in the woman, but not of the woman. Wow. So anyway, this man sat in trance for days. So he got a baddie on his hands. Again, he got a unicorn. So the current of his thoughts were changed. He thought of nothing but the singer and her songs. So he's talking about a man on his mission, and he done put the mission to the side for this woman. Jesus, the Christ. The man who was the appointed leader and founder of Christianity. But again, Jesus was but a man, and any man is going to be impacted and affected by a woman. Straight up. Continue on. He longed to see her once again, and after certain days she came, and she spoke and laid her hand upon his head. Her touch thrilled all his soul, and for the time, forgotten was the work that he was sent to do. I mean, I could expound on that, but I mean, come on. After certain days, so she poeticized her presence. So she using seductive 48 laws of power, virtues, and principles all up in it. Again, she did not seem to notice Jesus, but best believe she knew. You know what I'm saying? Best believe she got an arsenal of seductive tricks up her sleeve. You know what I'm saying? She in the parlor of beauty, in the halls of mysteries. Come on, man. You think she don't know? Oh, she know. Anyway. She know what she doing. And laid her hand upon his head. You know how women is. Hey, babe, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? And that softness and that gentleness and that seductiveness, the way she probably looked at him in his eyes, he was like, man, I'm supposed to be about whose work? My uncle, my brother, somebody's work. It don't matter. You know. Continue on with your song, fair maiden. All right. Few were the words the maiden said. She went her way, but then the heart of Jesus had been touched. She didn't say much. Because again, she don't have to say much. She's a woman being beheld by a man who is visually excited. So I just hope that you see the law of gender, the law of polarity being played, the dance, the cat and mouse game, so to speak. You know, saying the energy play of masculine and feminine kind of bouncing off of each other, you know, both being kind of receptive to one another. You know, she's sensing Jesus's moods and fluctuations and the facial expressions, and he is, you know, being receptive to her beauty and her seductive ways. He's kind of allowing himself to be seduced, you know, because again, beauty is to be beheld. To not behold beauty and to not acknowledge beauty is to not acknowledge women. To not acknowledge women is to not acknowledge the feminine. To not acknowledge the feminine is not to acknowledge creation. A love flame had been kindled in his soul, and he was brought to face the sorest trial of his life. Again, it's Jesus. The sorest trial of his life, though? Okay. He could not sleep nor eat. Thoughts of the maiden came, they would not go. His carnal nature called aloud for her companionship. Let me stop you right there, okay? His carnal nature called aloud for her companionship. Now, you know what would have happened if... No, I'm getting ahead of myself. So this is all I'll say. Again, this is supposed to be Jesus. But this man's carnal nature, he's a man. You know, you should be happy as a man that your carnal nature calls aloud for anybody. Do you know that there are men that are taking pills to artificially arouse their carnal nature? For their carnal nature to speak out loud? You know what I'm saying? Because without the pill, their carnal nature is mute. They don't feel like a man because they can't be receptive fully to a woman. You know, this is, to me, this is a beautiful passage on the energy dynamic. The energy dynamic within the law of polarity and the energy dynamic between the law of gender. Moving on. Then Jesus said, "Lo, I have conquered every foe that I have met, and shall I now be conquered by this carnal love?" Now, his reason's starting to come back. First, he was thinking with his head, his lower head. And now he's starting to be more aware. He's coming out the trance. Hold up. I'm losing myself here. And see, this is the point where a lot of men mess up. Because they'll have that inkling. They'll get that awareness. Maybe I don't need to be in this relationship. But what happens is their lust takes over and they say, I don't even care, bro. I just gotta get up in this stuff. And then you get up in this stuff. It's not as good as you thought. Or it might be as good as you thought. It might be even better than what you thought. But at the end of the day, it only satisfies you for a certain period of time. And you keep indulging in this thing that only satisfies you for a certain period of time. One, you become addicted. Two, you never become fulfilled because, again, it's short-lived and you are wasting your seed, which is depleting you of vital energy, and you just losing all across the board. You think you're winning because you up in them beautiful guts maybe 2-3 times a day. But you will not be able to fulfill your mission if all you doing, you will not. PSA to all men out there. You focus on all this, you're depleting yourself of energy that helps enlighten this, which will get you money, and it will get you this, and it will get you even more things. Whatever you choose to use it for. Let's continue on. My Father sent me here to show the power of love divine, that love that reaches every living thing. My man, he back on his mission now. He recognizing, I gotta go my own way. She beautiful, but I got a mission. I gotta find my purpose. I gotta perform some duty in life. I could be with this woman, but at the expense of my mission? Oh, I don't think so. I don't think that's wise. I don't think that's wise. In fact, I know it's not wise. So now let me get on my man and let me try to figure out how I can deal with this thing. Because it got to be dealt with. Okay, let's move on. Shall this pure, universal love that he has, he's basically saying, yo, I got this pure, universal love. I got this good love. You know what I'm saying? I got this love that's better than this big dick energy. You know what I'm saying? I got this big dick and big mind and big heart energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the alpha and the omega man. He says, shall this pure, universal love, this power, be all absorbed by carnal love? Am I going to inject all of this that I built up and all that I have for some sex? For some pussy? Shall I forget all creatures else? Should I forget about my mama? Should I forget about my companions? Should I forget about the animals? Should I forget about Mother Earth? Should I forget about all of the life forms that I can actually help and give life and benefit to? For the one? Not a man of mission. What does the Bible say? If you can't control your sexual desires, get a wife. If you can't control your sexual desires, find you a wife. What about you if you can control your sexual desires? Do you need a wife? If you about your mission, is it going to benefit you to have a wife? Because let me tell you this. It's not wise to try to get a wife until you have something to provide for a wife with. Just straight up. Because it's just not going to be the most harmonious thing if you don't have something to provide, something to offer, some security. Something foundational to give to a woman. And that's why it's so important for a man to get on his mission so that he can develop his value, so that he can develop his finances, so that he can develop his mind and his strength of body. So that he'll be able to not only receive a woman, but to maintain a healthy partnership with a woman. Move on. Shall this universal pure love be all absorbed by carnal love? Shall I forget all creatures else and lose my life? Lose my life? And this fair maiden, though she is the highest type of beauty, purity, and love? So he found the unicorn, but he's sitting there saying, this, it feels so good, but this can't be life. can't be love. This can't be right. There's got to be more. This can't be us. Anyway, into its very depths, his soul was stirred, and long he wrestled with this angel idol of his heart. But when the day was almost lost, his higher ego rose in might, and he found himself again. And then he said, although my heart shall break, I will not fail in this my hardest task. I will be victor over carnal love. And when again the maiden came and offered him her hand and heart, he said, fair one, your very presence thrills me with delight. Your voice is benediction to my soul. My human self would fly with you and be contented in your love. My human self would fly with you and be contented in your love. But all the world is craving for a love that I have come to manifest. I must then bid you go, but we will meet again. Our ways on earth will not be cast apart. I will see you, or I see you in the hurrying throngs of earth as minister of love. I hear your voice in song that wins the hearts of men to better things. And then in sorrow and in tears, the maiden went away. And Jesus was again alone. There's so much I can say about that, but discipline and awareness this man has. See, he became aware of the fact that he would lose himself to be with her, though it would content his soul, his carnal self. It will fulfill his carnal self. It will fulfill his human form. But his soul, his spirit, knows that he's on a path. As a woman once told me, I feel like I'm taking you off of your path. The path, the mission, the purpose is soul and spirit driven. It's not driven by the physical body. It's kind of borderline between the mind and that spiritual force. And that's where mission speaks. Mission is all about doing something that's greater than you. Again, he said, my Father sent me here to show the power of love divine, that love that reaches every living thing. So, and there's something that I can learn from this, for a purpose-driven man, the love of one is not sufficient, because they know that the love that they have to give extends beyond just one person. Unless you can find one person that is okay in understanding that your love has to be showered to many. It has to be unbound. All right. And then in sorrow and in tears, the maiden went away. So they shared some. No doubt about that. But at the same time, how many women cry and made themselves cry? A man can be very susceptible to a woman's tears. But my man, Jesus, he stood ice cold in this situation. He said, you know what? It hurt, but I got to be about my Father's work. So, and instantly the great bells of the temple rang. The singers sung a new song. A new song. The grotto blazed with light. The Hierophant himself appeared and said, all hail, triumphant Logos. Hail, the conqueror of carnal love stands on the heights. And then he placed in Jesus' hands a scroll on which was written, Love Divine. Let me read that again. All hail, triumphant Logos, the Word, the living Word, the conqueror of carnal love stands on the heights. And then he placed in Jesus' hands a scroll on which was written, Love Divine. Conquer carnal love, love divine. Do you see that? Do you see that? And I wasn't intended on making this a kind of a MGTOW video, but this is a prime example of the trials and tribulations of a MGTOW man. I mean, the man's going monk. I mean, the man is on his purpose. I mean, he's curved women. I know he's retaining some semen. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a story about a MGTOW man. So this man was able to deny himself of union with the unicorn. Excuse me. He was able to deny himself union with the unicorn. Now, you think about, as a man, you think about a woman who is top notch. I'm talking about you got a dime, and then you got up above a dime, you got your ideal woman, whatever that is. Your ideal woman is manifested in front of you. And it's like you got a fork in the road. Unicorn, ideal woman, path. Okay, now, you can't see what's at the end of this path. You gotta go down this path, this rough and rugged path, at that, with the faith that what you envision to be at the end of this path is actually gonna be there. But on the other side, you got this woman, she right there in front of you, enticing the hell out of you. Literally enticing the hell out of you. You know, and which decision do you make? What do they say? A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. Or is it? In this case. Because if that was the case, then this woman right here would be better than the path. So, I mean, just sitting me saying that just makes me reevaluate that whole phrase. A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. I mean, it's more convenient, but we always want two. Maybe you can get the two in the bush if you're strategic about it. If you believe that you can get the two in the bush. But if you feel like you're not capable of getting the two in the bush, and then you got the one right here, just naturally, you're going to go ahead and just snatch the one. But if you live off faith, not by sight, you go ahead by the two. In your mind, you might say, a bird in the hand is not better than 5 in the tree. Not even in the bush, in the tree. They way up there. You can get them, but you got to work for them. You got 5 of them. You got one right here, one pretty one, but you got 5 of them up there in that tree. So you got to go down the rough and rugged path, up the tree, and then when you get up the tree, you got to make sure that you even get them. Take a lot of faith, take a lot of courage, takes a lot of perseverance. Because I can tell you like this, you get up in that tree for the first time, you probably ain't gonna get them. You gotta keep on climbing the tree. Keep on trying to get them. Again, you got the unicorn over here, you can just go ahead and take that and go on home. But the purpose-driven man, the man with a mission, the man that's truly trying to better himself and go his own way, he's gonna take that rough and rugged path. And I think I'm gonna end that there. So I pray to the ancestors and the Most High for the wisdom that was channeled through me during this video. I wish you all well. Take care. Spread love. Bring order. Peace.